So we are just on our way to something very exciting, our first real bit of adulting. Would you like to tell them, Jack?
Yeah, so we just thought, although we're not in a rush, we thought now we would start to have a little look and think about houses. Very adult and grown up for us. But you know, obviously every couple and everyone gets to that time where, like, luckily for both of us, we're not like being pushed to leave home, and we have a very good home life, very, I'd say, easy compared to some people I know. But you know, we're 25 this year, we've been together nearly 3 years now, and obviously it's just that next step. Obviously, especially with the distance for us, it makes things quite difficult because we can never do stuff
time consuming, because we don't have much time together, and when Jack is working away and stuff, obviously then you go weeks without seeing each other because I can't just pop down in the week, it's a bit too far. So yeah, so we've got a couple of viewings today. Obviously, as it's literally first viewings and stuff, we won't show too much because we're not even sure we will like them. Provisionally we like them, but we're not sure. We're in the process of sorting out mortgage stuff as well with an advisor to obviously see what we can actually borrow. So that's all we would say, is obviously maybe get that done first. Yeah. We're just kind of having a look to see, because we are kind of like picky in that sense. There are a lot of things we need from a house. So there aren't many of those houses out there that fit our criteria, so this is just building up our portfolio and obviously getting to know what we do and don't like about property, you know, getting a feel for the market, because from what I've seen online, obviously although mortgage rates are high, it's a buyer's market because there's less demand. Is that right? Less demand or more demand? Less demand. Yeah. I don't know. No, I don't know. Basically, there's like, obviously not many people are getting mortgages, so people aren't rushing to view houses like they were, say, 3 months ago. When you've got loads of people trying to buy one house, they can obviously up the asking price and it's a bidding war. And then you pay over the odds, whereas if his house has been on the market for a few months or even a year and nothing, then obviously you're in a position as a buyer to. Which one of the ones today has? It's been on the market about 4 or 5 months. So obviously just going to have a look, and yeah, obviously over the coming months, maybe even a year, we will update you on our progress and how we get on. Hello everybody, so day number 2 or week number 2 of the house hunting. Just thought that we'd give an update of how the last viewings went, because we didn't obviously check in with you after we went to see them. So we went to see 2 properties. One was probably a little bit small for what we want, and it would need a little bit of moving walls and stuff like that, and it just wasn't really for us, was it, Jack? There wasn't enough parking and stuff, so it was good because obviously it gave us a better idea of what we actually need and want in a property. The other one we both really liked, but again it just needed too much work doing to it, and a cash buyer actually snapped that one up. So the search continues. We're going to see another couple today. We have actually spoken to a mortgage advisor properly now and have a better understanding of how much we can borrow. So obviously we can look at more suitable properties that are a little bit higher, in a higher price range than the ones we initially looked at. So yeah, not expecting anything, not sort of, you know, just going very open-minded again to try and just build up that portfolio of things that we are looking for, and hopefully we will obviously find something soon. But as we said before, we aren't rushing, because what we do want is very hard to come by. So yeah, and there is no rush. We're not renting, we're not being pushed out of home or whatever, so as much as obviously the sooner we buy, the sooner we live together, all that, it's, you know, there's no point rushing for the sake of just buying somewhere so we live together. I feel, for me especially, I'm very specific what I want, and I don't want anything to get in the way of, like, and then affect our relationship, because we say rush to buy something and then we're not happy with it and then we end up, you know, arguing or whatever. I want to make sure when we buy and what we buy is right and has all the... Sorry, just do a bit of rally crossing. It's so bumpy. Well, it's just Lewis. He's resurfacing. Yeah, you know, just want to make... Whoa! Crazy taxi just tried to have us off. Yeah, you know, just want to make sure what we get is right for us. I think,
You know, obviously we've both been quite lucky with our childhoods and lived in nice areas and nice houses, so I think as much as that's a good thing, it's also a bad thing, because obviously you're never well, you know, we're never going to have as nice a first house as we've lived in up till now, but it means that the level's quite high, and what we want is, you know, quite specific. And also what we want is obviously expensive, so yeah, unfortunately we don't want to be investing all of our money in our first property, because the goal is to obviously hopefully one day have a couple, but also we are still obviously keeping an eye on the mortgage rates, because although they are still a bit high, they have actually gone down in the last week, so obviously if they continue to do that, then happy days. Yeah, but also you don't want to then get in too early and find they keep dropping and find you're then tied into a higher rate. So no, so we're just doing our research, having a little look at what's out and about, and yeah, we'll catch up with you when we are on our next viewings, I suppose, or we'll let you know how these ones go. Another day, another house viewing. So we just thought, oh, Jack's just going over the little cobbly bits, that we do a quick update since our last house viewing. So last time we saw 2 properties. One, again, we just didn't like, it just wasn't for us, and another we did really like. So we actually put in an offer on that house, but unfortunately we got outbid by someone else, which is obviously sad, but it's just part of the house buying process. We thought that being first time buyers would put us in a stronger position against other people, being that obviously we can proceed quicker, but also that we're not then in a rush to, you know, if someone hasn't got somewhere to move on to, then we're not rushing to get them out. But unfortunately the other people were also first time buyers, so when it came down to it, obviously it was whoever had more money and was willing to put in. Not even that. It's not trying to be flash, but it's not that we couldn't afford to have gone higher, but the thing is we agreed roughly the sort of amount we can borrow. Well, we know what we can borrow. We agreed roughly what we can, what we both want to put in as a deposit, and we kind of came to a joint decision that that amount is the max we want to spend, because it was that's what the house is worth. And if we start overspending now, we're only going to limit ourselves, you know, in terms of what money we have access to and that side of things. But also this particular property was a new build a few years back, so obviously in terms of if you are looking, and anyone's looking to make money, but if you are looking to make a bit of money in the future, the more you pay for a property, obviously the less chances you have of making money. So I think that's really important, no matter what you do, is look at a house. If you like it and you're thinking of putting in an offer, obviously don't go in at your top end, because they're always going to push you back, because everyone wants to get the most that they can. But then you have to agree between you a maximum, and you have to be really sort of brutal and stick to that. You know, it's so easy to be edged higher, and you think, oh well, a couple of grand here or 5 grand, you know, it's not much, but you know, it's then more of a deposit, it's more per month that you've got to pay. As everyone knows, the mortgage rates are still a lot higher than they have been, although they are coming down. So yeah, I think we were very good in that, you know, we said, right, we're going to go in at this, and we will walk away if it goes too crazy. Yeah, that's because you can get drawn in, and you can, you know, be so invested and like it so much that you just give everything. And then when it comes down to it, you know, as Jack is learning, because I've done a lot of research, but just because you get an offer accepted on a property, you then have to get the mortgage to be lent to you for that amount. And if they don't feel like it's worth it, then you've got to stump up the extra cash yourself. So it's a very hard game buying houses, because, you know, people do want to push you to your top end, but you know, if you can get somewhere a little bit cheaper and save a bit of money, then obviously you will. So you just got to be, you know, aware of the market around you, and just have those conversations between you, because it was the first property that we've both really liked out of the ones that we've seen. Yeah. There's been a couple, you know, where I've liked and Jack hasn't, or the other way round, but this one we actually both liked. But
what I'd
It had
say.
everything. It had everything we wanted. Everything on my list of what I want or feel I need for a first house. It had everything, but at the same time, just because it has everything doesn't mean you then go and pay way more than it's worth or over what you're prepared to spend.
Yeah, but it's given us more of an idea now of what we want. Well, that person's just
Nice for a red. I mean, yeah, no one there, but
yeah. So now, what we might have thought that we wanted before, we now know more what we want, but also know that it is in our price range, because for quite a while that was both of our worries, is because what we need is quite specific. It doesn't come up often in the price range that we're looking at, so it was just nice that something that, you know, we do need did come up. So all hope is not lost. We've just got to sit it out and hopefully something else will come up. So we're actually on the way to view another property, which is just down the road from the one that
literally
we
opposite.
liked.
It's like the opposite estate.
Yeah, basically everything about it is the same, except from it doesn't have a garage. But the reason we want a garage is obviously for extra storage, but also for Jack's gym stuff. So as long as there's a garden big enough to add some sort of outbuilding, then the garage isn't the make or break. Obviously it's just nice if it has got one. So we'll just go and see. We're very open-minded when we go into these viewings, that, you know,
If it's not right, that's it. You got at the end of the day, you got to see a few, or what's the saying? You got to kiss a few frogs before you find the princess. So yeah, we've definitely seen a few frogs, and
and obviously something that we've learned, and everyone will know this probably, but photos are very, very deceptive.
Yeah,
there have been a lot of properties that because I look pretty much all the time on Rightmove and Zoopla and stuff. No, because I just I like to be aware of what the house prices are doing, because obviously the media try and scare you that they're going really high or low or whatever, but in reality I don't think they have a clue. But you can look at a house and think, oh my god, this is amazing, it's massive, or it's got this, it's got that, and you get there and it is so far from the pictures. It's tiny, or the garden is just, you know. So we're very careful in the sense that we don't just go see anything and everything, because
there's no point.
It's just not worth wasting our time on. But anything that we do sort of like the look of, we are looking into it, and it's always one of those, you know, what's meant to be will be. So because obviously we're looking in Brighton, well,
East Sussex,
yeah, we're only here like twice a month at best.
I'm here most of the time
to view houses. If houses go before we get the chance to see it, then it's not meant to be. He's definitely more particular than I am. I am very open to a house that needs a little bit of work, whereas Jack is very against that.
For a first house, I want some, especially in the price range we're in. The problem is you can pay the same money for something that then needs loads of work, which we can't then really afford to do, or you're then right on the limit. And as much as I want a house, I still want to be able to live my life, and if I want to, you know, buy stuff or go to places, I still want to be able to do it. So
no, and I agree with that sense, that because the house that we do want is on the higher end of our price range, then yes, it's not sensible to then get someone that needs 50 grand spending on it, because we would just have no life
over the limit
and be struggling.
Also, although, mate, okay, everyone jokes about me being away half my life and, you know, playing with cars and stuff, which is true. You know, I am an electrician. I do work on the tools. I do maintenance work all day, every day when I'm not away. And the last thing I want to do is buy my first house and then spend every evening and weekend working.
Yeah. So on that note, we will obviously let you know how we get on with this property this morning.
Thanks for tuning into this episode of the Corinne Show.
No, not at
Yes.
all. No, he's just driving, so I'm taking the reins. So I just thought I'd pick up the camera, although I'm actually filming on my phone because the camera is in my room and I can't be bothered to faff around getting it because it's in the box, etc. Anyway, I digress. I was going to wait till the weekend to film this bit with Jack as an update, but I just wanted to let you know, so we actually put in an offer for the property that we saw at the weekend just gone, and it was accepted, which is obviously amazing news. But the people that are selling the property have nowhere to move on to, or had nowhere to move on to, so obviously it was going to be a bit of a waiting game. So we were trying not to get too excited because it was a long road ahead essentially, but just had a call from the estate agent and they found somewhere and it's chain free, so things are going to start to move quite quickly. Obviously we're first time buyers, so providing our mortgage application and everything like that goes through swimmingly, then it's going to be quite a quick process, and we could be in the next couple of months, which is so scary but obviously so exciting. And I just wanted to document this, because up until this point we haven't been getting too excited, we haven't been like getting our hopes up, because we've never been in this position before. But yeah, oh my god, it's actually crazy, it feels so real now. So obviously we'll let you know how things go. We've got a meeting today with our mortgage advisor to sort solicitors and get the application submitted, so officially becoming adults quickly. And yeah, another day of us probably wearing the same thing as every weekend, the coats, the scarf, etc. Anyway, we are just off out to do something very exciting, and we've got Mr. Handsome. Who's that? Who is it? Who's that? No, oh, okay, he's more interested in the cycles on the road.
Oh, update on the house buying situation. We've had our offer accepted, and for the last couple of weeks just been sorting out paperwork for the mortgage advisor.
Felt like a couple of years. Yeah,
it felt like a long time. And then also the conveyancers, just kind of toing and froing, filling stuff in, sending paperwork, etc, etc. So yeah, we had the offer accepted. The house obviously got valued and is valued at the, obviously what we're paying for it. And actually we've had our mortgage, well, we've got just a couple of things to query, but we've actually got our mortgage confirmed as well. So we're kind of at the point, excuse me, and we've had a survey, even though we didn't need one, just for peace of mind, because obviously it's a new build property. Didn't need one, but we just thought it was better to have one. And yeah, we're basically at that point where it's kind of, once the mortgage officially gets sorted, once we just query these couple of bits, it's just kind of putting together the contracts and sorting insurance and that side of things. That's
the biggest thing, is when we went to view the property they hadn't found anywhere for the first time, and since then they found somewhere that's chain free, so obviously it's moving a lot quicker than your standard house move would be.
Yeah, because they're chain free, we're first time buyers, and all that, so
scary times.
Yeah, it's moving quite fast, but at the same time if we want to slow it down we can, because it's kind of, I feel like it's going to be typical that it probably all will go through just as I'm then going to be busy during like May time, which is going to be annoying, because I obviously want to be there for packing up, unpacking and painting and stuff.
And I don't want to do it all by myself.
So yeah, we just went to see it for, well, for me the third time. For
me it was the second time, first time since we obviously had our offer accepted. So obviously we'll go into this in more detail when we do like a proper little sit down house buying video. But it's a completely different mindset when you know that it's yours, and yeah,
you view it with different eyes, because you start actually, instead of just like, oh, maybe this could go there, maybe this could go wherever, you start looking as like, well, this is what we're going to do, what we want to do. As soon as we move in, this is priority, whereas this is less important, and this can stay, this can go, whatever.
So we're just going to have a little scout out of the area. We're just going to inquire at a gym to see what the membership prices and stuff are like, and obviously just see what's out and about, just familiarise ourselves with the local area. So we just went and inquired at the local gym, got some free 3-day passes so that we can go and try it before we sign up. We're just having a little scout out of the local area now with Barney for some local walking routes, and obviously just getting a walk in ourselves to just see what's out and about, because obviously, well, I've not been up here. Jack might have been up here, but I haven't. And yeah, so I think the plan is to get back to the car and then make our way back home.
Okay guys, it is the 15th of June 2023. It is completion day on the house. There we go, keys are in hand, well, in the door pocket. So basically, since yesterday evening, there's been a lot of toing and froing from East Sussex up to Canterbury and back, vice versa. Basically, I've had to go several times with the van to pick stuff up, take it back to my house. We then went and did another run this morning, went down to the house, pick up the keys and go in. We went with the van and unloaded that particular load of stuff with Corinne's mum and niece so they could see the house. And then we've then come back to get, as you can see in the back, our lovely plants. We've got some potatoes and what else have we got?
A pumpkin. And lettuces and courgette in the boot.
We did take some with us earlier, but this is like the remaining plants. Yeah, so although it's the first day in, because of the nature of the move and being apart, you know, having to kind of amalgamate stuff from different areas.
And try and limit the journeys. Oh, because that's what, when we, so I've done like a day by day, step by step sort of report, if you like. But basically, the plan was to have the Luton that I mentioned was a bit iffy, but the Luton's actually being serviced in the garage, so we ended up having to have a courtesy vehicle, which was a lot smaller than the Luton. So we basically crammed everything that we could into 2 van loads. And this is the second car full today, but obviously I've been taking stuff to and from for the last few weeks. So yeah, today is 9:15 at the moment, and we're still on the road.
Yeah, so we basically had a long wheelbase Peugeot van instead of the Luton because it has an issue with the battery draining and then dying, and it's just a bit generally kind of not the best for long journeys, and yeah, so that's what we did. Yeah, we're on the way back now. We're basically going to go to the house, drop this car and the bits, grab the van, go back to my house, grab my actual van, my work van, fill it with just basically the essentials, as in our airbed, some bedding, an overnight wash bag, just basically enough, some towels, just enough to get by tonight, and then change of clothes, because I haven't even taken any stuff from my house yet, along with all the stuff for the house at my current house. So we can just go there and sleep there tonight, and then we'll go back to mine in the morning and do another couple of runs, and then start cracking on with painting and all the other fun stuff that this lady has lined up for me this next coming week.
The plan was obviously to have a Domino's at the house tonight, but we originally were going to do 2, maybe 3 journeys in the van today, but once we realised that we could fit it all in one, plus my car, we then obviously scrapped that, which then meant that we were coming back to Kent because I had to bring my mum back, and then we needed to get the last few bits in the car, so we just stopped at Clackett Lane and got McDonald's earlier. So it seems a bit sad.
Yeah, so although
we didn't even eat in the house.
Yeah, so it's although
and I haven't, sorry, but my mum and my niece was the first to use the toilet. I haven't even used the toilet in the house yet.
Anyway.
TMI.
Anyway. So yeah, today was completion day, but I feel like because of all the driving and moving stuff, it hasn't really felt like, I guess, most people's completion days would feel, because we've been there probably a grand total of about half an hour.
It's still well bloody sad.
So yeah, I feel like it will all start to set in and feel a bit more real tonight, later on, and even tomorrow and in the coming days. So, and
we forgot to call the Wi-Fi people, so we don't have Wi-Fi now till Monday. Well, we need to call them
21st century, third world problems, first world problems.
No, we'll be alright, because I got my lovely box sets, which Jack is thrilled about, that we can start cracking into.
I I've got to get started on the Tour de France Netflix series. I've told you this, woman.
You can't do that without Wi-Fi.
I've got unlimited 4G on my phone, so we will be doing that. I'm going to make her watch it. I'm sure she'll love it. Anyway, that's our little update. We will keep you posted and show
Come
you
along
things.
on the moving process.
Show you it all once we're actually in. Also, trying to sort out one final thing, because the route from Corinne's mum's house to our house is not quite as straightforward as Corinne's house to my parents' house. This is now the third different route from Kent to East Sussex we are taking to try and find the best solution. So there's a straightforward route that is not too far.
Or windy.
Yeah, because at the moment we've got a really short route, but it's very windy and slow, or we basically do the original route from my mum and dad's house to Corinne's mum's house, plus the extra drive from our house to my parents' house. So we're now trying to find a happy medium. Yeah, peace out.